Okay, guys, here is my July reading wrap up. This was a crazy, okay, I also have an audiobook that I read. This is a pretty insane reading month for me. I will say there is one DNF in here, but I've been reading a lot more than usual. Me and my boyfriend just have not really been watching TV. He's kind of been doing his thing, I've been doing my thing, and so I have been reading so much. I have a bug bite on my forehead, sorry. I need to not itch it. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna start with the audiobook that I read or listened to, whatever. I'm not getting into that, okay? I listened to the last book in the Rose Hill series, which is Wild Side. Yeah. I did like that one. I'm a sucker for a crazy old man. I love an age gap romance. And I do think it was probably one of my favorite books in that series. That is the first Elsie Silver series that I've finished. I've read all the way through. I read Flawless and then stopped because I'm pretty sure I have it on the shelf, but I'm pretty sure the next book in the series is a single parent thing, and I was like, ugh, kids are not. It doesn't do it for me. I don't want kids. I don't desire to like be in that position. So to read a story like that is hard for me. I've read a couple of them, and then I always like get into it later on in the story. Like I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. Like the kids are hardly, let's be real, the kids are almost never in the fucking book anyways, but it's hard for me to want to go into reading something like that because it is so not relatable to me. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I would say like 3 stars. It's not like, none of the books to me were like amazing, can't miss, have to read, but it was good. My DNF, and this is funny because I think in another book video, I was talking about how excited I was for this, and I literally ran my behind all around town trying to find this book. Okay, I went to 2 half-price books. I caved. I bought it brand new at Barnes & Noble. The Vampire Lestat. Okay, I was trying to, let me take my good bookmark out of here. I will say that I think right now I'm gonna put this at a soft DNF. Okay, I really wanted to read it before I watched the second or the third season of the show, and I think I'm just gonna watch the show. I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't care less about what's happening in this book. I don't think book Lestat is very interesting to me. I don't care about him being in love with his mom. I mean, I do care. It's kind of hard for me to read. I know the vampires like don't have like sexual love in the book, but I don't care. Like maybe it's because I don't have a good relationship with my mom. I'm having a hard time with this whole like mom Oedipus-y kind of thing. I don't want to read it. The only person that I really care about in this book is Nicholas. I think that's his name, Nick, Lestat's gay lover, and he's not having a good go of it right now. I think I'm going to try to pick this back up in the fall and maybe see if I feel differently, but this is just not a summer read for me, and I think I might just watch the show. I almost never do that. I'm always like, I'm going to read the book first. I think I'm just going to watch the show. I could not, it was like pulling teeth for me to read this. I got to like maybe 50%. I'm so sorry. If you've read the Vampire Chronicles and I'm wrong, tell me and I'll push through it, okay? Because I would like to at least make it to Queen of the Damned. There's like 25 books in the Vampire Chronicles, and I read a lot of the descriptions, and it just starts to get convoluted. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I want to at least make it to Queen of the Damned. So if you have any thoughts on everything that I just said about this, let me know. I just have too many books that are to be read for me to be pulling teeth to read something. Now that brings me to this. I put Vampire Lestat down to read this because I simply could not wait to read this anymore, okay? I want to preface everything that I'm about to say about this book by saying that I liked the book. I read it in like 2 sittings, okay? I think I gave it like 4 stars. So, you know, I just think you can like something and critique it. And I do have some pretty big critiques about this book. some of it is more of just like the cultural zeitgeist around this book. Like, everybody's saying that this is a critique on tradwifism. I don't think that's true. I think this is a thriller book where the main character is a tradwife. I think there are a lot of things to consider when it comes to this whole tradwife like movement thing that this book does not cover, and it has almost, and maybe this is like on me, this is a personal problem, but it has almost no like empathetic look at this. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's like I feel sorry for tradwives, and I think to a certain extent they're brainwashed by a system that most of them grew up in, and they don't even really have a chance, you know what I mean? And I also know that the author spent a lot of time on the internet talking about ballerina farms in a very negative way, and there's no way in my mind to deny that this character is based off of her. And I do think that makes it a little weird for me, like to write a book about a woman where she gets beaten, that's based off a real life person, where she gets beaten and assaulted and all of this really bad stuff happens to her. It's like, and also to make it like to write a book about a real life person that you don't know, that you've never met, and to put all of these weird like personality projections that you have about them, like, you know, they're a terrible mother, they're an abusive parent, they're evil, they're maybe a sexual assaulter. Like, I don't know, that part of it is really weird for me. I will not lie. I do think that's really weird. And I can't imagine like publicly disliking someone so much and then writing a book based off of them where they get beaten and raped and whatever else, you know? But if you don't know any of that, I still think you should read this book. I just don't think it is everything everybody's making it out to be. I think it is a thriller book where a tradwife is the main character. That's it. The plot twist did get me. I thought that I had it figured out, and I thought, spoilers ahead. Okay, I'm about to spoil something. Nothing major, but spoiler. I thought that when she got canceled and Caleb's family was talking about killing her, I thought that they actually killed her and then she was in hell. And it was like this whole life, this whole fantasy that she had that she thought was like amazing was literally hell. That's what I thought, but that's not true, and I won't spoil the ending. But the next book that I read was The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. My friend recommended this to me, and I immediately bought it on Thrift Books. I have the second book, but I haven't started it yet. I'm going on a beach trip with my friends, and I'm gonna read it on the beach. I think it'll be like a good, fun, chill beach read. I'm hoping to maybe read 2 books on the beach. We're only gonna be there for 3 days, so that's like really optimistic. I'm gonna bring 2 books, and we shall see. I thought this was so fun. It's very, to me, it is a YA novel. So if you're thinking it's not necessarily for grown-ups, but I think there are a lot of books in the YA genre that adults can enjoy. I loved Good Girl's Guide to Murder, whatever. So Hunger Games, I mean, I was a young adult when I read those, but I think I would still probably read them now as an adult. So I don't think that should stop you from checking this out. It's really fun. It's a good palate cleanser. I feel like it's really good if you're in a slump. It's super fast paced. There's not a lot of like super heavy subject matter. There's a couple things, but for the most part, it's like pretty fast going. You're not getting like emotionally whipped around by this book. Basically, this girl who's a broke teenage girl living in her car, parents are dead, living with her sister. Her sister has an abusive boyfriend, finds out that a billionaire died and left his fortune to her. And her and his grandchildren are trying to figure out why? And this guy's like obsessed with games and riddles, and they're like playing this game that he left them posthumously, I can never say that word, after death, to figure out why he did that. And there is, I'm not gonna say it's like a plot twist, but there is you find out the mystery. That's not a plot twist. You're obviously gonna find out the mystery at the end, but there's like a little like, but then it kind of opens up a whole nother can of worms at the end, and that is where the second book is gonna pick up. I know that this is a trilogy. I haven't done a lot of research into it, so I don't know if like, I know it was originally a trilogy, but now there's a bunch more books. If anybody is watching this, let me know like how I should proceed. Like, I'm gonna ask my friend, but like, should I only read the trilogy? Should I read all the other like connected books? I don't even know how they're connected. I just know that somehow it was a trilogy and now there's like 10 books or something crazy. Maybe I'm a little bit ill-informed on that, but yeah, I'm excited to read the next book, and that's all I have to say, really. Okay, last, and what I'm most excited about, and maybe the best book I have read all of 2026. Definitely the best book I've read all of 2026. I will say technically I finished this in August, but I read like the last 100 pages, I think, on like August 2nd, which was yesterday. So I'm gonna still count it because I really read the bulk of this in July. I think I read like this much yesterday, or whatever. So I'm still gonna count it because I'm dying to talk about this. But literally, I was up all night reading this. Okay, my face was so swollen when I woke up. I wish you could see the tank top I was wearing last night. Okay, the last like 2 hours that I was reading this, I was sobbing. There was snot running down my face. I had like a bandana. I couldn't breathe. It was ugly. It was ugly, okay? And I might start crying again talking about this, okay? This is a book about two best friends. If anybody knows me in real life, I have a best friend who I've been best friends with since we were teenagers, similar to how this book goes. And so I feel like this just hit really close to home. I feel like if you are lucky enough to have like a friendship like in this book, then, oh my God. I can't keep crying about this. My eyes literally hurt. I am gonna spoil, okay, again, spoiler time, okay, spoiler. If you are lucky enough to have a friendship like the friendship that is in this book, the thought of that person, like, you think you're gonna grow old and be best friends with for this person, and you're gonna like retire to Florida together or live in an old folks home, and then they die, is so crazy. So I just could not handle it. I stayed up all night finishing it. Not really till like midnight, but that's late for me. I sobbed. I couldn't sleep. I woke up and my eyes were swollen out of my face from how much I was crying. I texted my best friend after I finished it, and I was like, I love you. Read this book or don't. I don't know. I think this book is so, so good. Here's something, since I'm gonna say that this is all spoilers. I really like that nothing beyond the initial one night stand happened with Tully and Jonathan, oh my God, Kate's husband, okay? Because for a little bit I thought, you read the back of the book, it says there's like a betrayal that makes them not talk for a little while, and I was pretty scared based off, some things, that there was going to be cheating, which I think would have ruined the whole entire story. I think it's so cheap. I hate a cheating scandal, okay? It's so cheap to me. So I'm really glad that didn't happen, because it did kind of seem like it. I know there's a sequel. I would like to read it. Let me know if it's good. I do think I need an emotional break after reading this, okay? I don't think the last time that I read a book and cried so hard at the end was 11/22/63, and I cried so hard I couldn't even see the pages and the words on the page, and that is what happened with this book. I definitely recommend it. This is my first Kristen Hanna. I have a couple of her books up here on my TBR shelf. So I am excited. I think I'm gonna go ahead and, if I can find a used copy of the sequel, I think that's called Fly Away. I'm definitely gonna read it. You should read this, okay? This is definitely on my list of favorite books now, and it is, I think it's my first 5-star of this year. I would have to look on my Storygraph or my Goodreads, but I think it's my first 5-star of this year. That is what I read in July. I'm really stoked about how much I read. I feel like I haven't had a reading month like this big probably all year. I have not really read a lot this year, or as much as I have like in the past couple years. So that feels really good. And I'm gonna go to the beach and I'm gonna read with my friends, and we're all bringing books, and it's gonna be really fun. I'll see you guys later.